Hello and welcome! This is Mouse Gunner, and we're back with some more City Skylines. It's been quite a while since I've covered this on my YouTube channel, and I started up this city build specifically for this upcoming DLC. Now, I actually kind of forgot about the DLC there for a little while, and kind of trailed off playing the game, but the DLC patch came out today, so we'll be hopping right into things and just getting a feel for things. Now, this is an older city that I built before the DLC, but it was something that I kind of prepared for it. And just something I thought would be a little fun to do is I tasked myself with making every intersection a roundabout. So there is no other way that I can do an intersection. Now, this city is still in the growing phase, but we've gone through a number of the unlocks here. Now, I am playing straight vanilla because I wasn't sure what mods would be working with the DLC when it came out and which ones wouldn't. So I just went ahead vanilla, so we're vanilla at the moment. And it looks like I'm loading into the city. It's been quite a while since I've played, so I actually don't remember what it was I was up to. But it looks like I'm loading in with some already problems. First off, I'm guessing a labor shortage here. Yeah, not enough workers. We have a couple of buildings I need to bulldoze. I'm also going to have to familiarize myself with the controls because, again, it's been a little while. Do we have labor shortages over here? All right, we do. So, more or less how I have the city broken up is I have two industrial zones. I have a bigger industrial zone over here that's mostly agricultural, and then I have just a normal industrial zone over here in the central part of the city. And let's take a look at the power levels here because it seems like that is an issue. Now, a big part of this new DLC is its natural disasters. So, I just want to check one thing here. There we go. All right. So, power consumption is kind of on the borderline, so there we go. Apparently, City Skylines does not like it when you alt-tab. Alright. So we're going to need some power buildings. Money-wise, I've got 56,000 in the bank. Let's pull up power here. Now, as I was saying before I got distracted, a big part of this DLC is the natural disasters. And one thing that I am aware that you can do is you can do evacuation routes, and you can also build shelters. So we're going to take a look at that here in a little bit. But first, obviously, I have to address my power situation. So I do see escape routes here, and disaster detection, radio coverage, and destruction. These are all things, new things that we're going to have to worry about. Road maintenance has been around. Okay, so now as far as power goes, if I remember correctly, I had a couple of these guys over here. Electricity consumption is much higher. I wonder if we can get away with... Oh, we already have the power usage on, huh? Alright, well, I do see we have a lot of income, so that's good as well. Alright. Let's grab one of these advanced turbines. And ordinarily, wouldn't it be... Yeah, 20 megawatts is what we are looking for here. So we'll just put that right there. And another one right there. That's a little bit different. Oh, I don't remember the building working that way. It seemed like it placed it way differently than where I thought I clicked. But, oh well. As long as it's giving me the 20 megawatts that I'm looking for, that's all I care about. If it's not giving me the 20 megawatts I'm looking for, I will not be particularly happy. Alright, well, let's have time go by here a little bit. And see how power is doing. So, we're producing enough that we're not going to have a shortage, but that's definitely not going to... Alright, well... I think we're going to need better power plants than that if we're going to want the real deal with this. Alright. In any case, let's take a look at some of the new features here. So, I'm not exactly sure, because I haven't done too much digging into this DLC. Landscaping and disasters. Alright, well, I think I see the tab we're looking for. Oh, can I actually just place a disaster? Well, heck, why don't we just start this out with a bang? What would be a fun disaster to start out with? Well, no, we should probably do some preparations before we just hit these guys, right? That's not really fair. But also, I want to experiment here. We might reload in the game before, you know, after we do this. I'm just curious what's going to happen to a city that has no preparations at all. So, let's find ourselves a nice, fun disaster here. We've got thunderstorms. We've got a sinkhole. We have earthquakes. We have tornadoes. Forest fire. A collapse. A fire. Tsunami. Oh, wow, there's a lot of stuff here. Alright, well, let's hit us with a tsunami. That sounds like a lot of fun. Well, we don't really have an ocean, though. We have more of a bay, so that's not likely to happen, right? Can we hit ourselves with the tsunami? Let's see if it will even do it. Alright, well, we'll let time go here. See what happens. Oh, we have a cooldown, so I have to wait a little bit of time, I guess. Ah, so there it's telling us where disasters and things are. Alright, well, I'm not sure if I did the tsunami thing right, but let's take a look what we have here. So, fire stations, helicopter depot, that I think is new. Fire watchtower. Oh, so I bet you all this red here in the forest, these are probably forests that are not really being watched. So let's say we grab one of these. Yeah, so we've got this big zone here that we can watch the forest. Now I'm curious, do you need a road or something? Or is it just... Let's just place it right in here. There's a lot of forest here. Let's see what happens. There we go. It took a little while for it to pop in. Alright, well, we're not going to be able to watch forests too well that are outside of our city zone. But let's say we come in here and we put one right there. That should take care of that area. Then we could put another one in here, take care of that area. I definitely like the new music. Put this one right there. And then we have a little bit of forest over here. Then I'm going to let go. We'll let that be a danger zone. We've got forest over here that we'll watch.
This is the classics. City's #1 source for music older than the
Alright. What else we got? Disasters. Alright. So, we have Disaster Response Unit. The Disaster Response Unit sends out helicopters and trucks to help clear rubble and rescue survivors. They handle both disaster aftermath and burn down buildings after the unit has done their work. Alright, well, we've got emergency shelter small, emergency shelter large, We have a radio mast. So I did talk about radio coverage. So that so we have two different size radio masts. Then we have earthquake sensor, tsunami warning buoy. Oh wow, weather radar, deep space radar. So that'd probably be for the meteor, right? Okay. Well, we're probably going to want a disaster response unit, but the question is, what kind of coverage does it have? It doesn't really let me see that. All right, well, let me see where I have things zoned, and we'll kind of figure out from there where we could put it. I'm thinking put it over here. There's not really much over here, and it puts it kind of close to the city. Alternatively, I could put it close to the center of the city. I mean, this is kind of planned to be the central hub of the city. Eventually, I was planning on building up this way at some point. Just never really got to it. All right, well, we'll put something in. And I believe that was under fire, yep. So we'll put this guy. Oh, so it builds that way. All right. Put him right there. Okay. Now, I don't know if that whole helicopter thing, we might need to build that too. All right, well, we're going to have time go by here. So we'll just have to be patient. And also bulldoze buildings as they pop up. And I have a feeling, judging from the employment situation, that we probably need to expand residential here because I'm noticing, well, that's kind of a high bar there. So let's go take a look. I believe where I left off, I was building up this neighborhood here. So where could we build up? Well, I see we definitely have areas here as long as we have water and electricity. Now, electricity was a little bit of an issue, and we probably need to save for that as well. But let's go ahead, put in some residential here. Now, I don't know. Well, let's let time come in here a little bit. We start building homes. Go around the circle here. And I'm undecided on what kind of housing to put in there. So let's see if we have any issues with that area. Not really much in the way of noise over here. I haven't really looked at traffic. I know that there were some problems in this city with traffic initially, but it looks like nothing serious. We don't have really any... Ooh, I was about to say we don't have any backed up traffic. But it does look like it's not necessarily backed up. I mean, we can watch it at a slower speed. It's heavy, but it's not, I wouldn't say, backed up. Maybe a little over there. I'm going to have to keep an eye on that. More houses or industry needing bulldoze. Alright, well. We'll keep an eye on the traffic, but I think I mostly solved the issues of the traffic before I left off. I'm still not sure what kind of housing to put in here. I'm thinking probably high density just in this area. Although this is kind of a nicer neighborhood to do the low density stuff. But just for this bit nearby the offices, we'll do high density. Put in a little low density there. I like to do a little at a time just to allow the houses to spring in. So far, my favorite thing is the new radio stations, for sure. Alright, well, let's go at a little bit faster speed here so we can build up money. Oh, we don't have that much demand for zoning now. So I'll be patient here. Okay. Alright, we have about 50,000. Let's take a look at services in general and see how they're doing. We're having some problem with trash pickup over here. Could be traffic related. How are we doing? More stuff to bulldoze. That's the most annoying thing about playing vanilla, is just having to come in and bulldoze stuff, especially when you have worker shortages that seem to be a real issue right now. We also have power, right, that we're going to need to build up, so what do we have unlocked? We've got coal, we've got oil, we've got hydropower, but that's going to be expensive. I don't yet have solar power plants unlocked, but I'll have that pretty soon here if the population continues to grow up to 20,000. And then we won't have that until 44. I could just do with another oil plant here. I'm just not sure where I have things and where I'd want to put them. I could stick it in right here, probably. That might not be a bad spot for it. Or over across the street. Trying to put a lot of my polluting buildings over in this central area and just kind of focus it in there so we are not having too much problem with pollution. Okay. Hoping that will really help with the power, which it has. Okay. How about water? Are we doing good there? Water availability is a little bit of a problem, but not enough that I'm concerned. We got more stuff to bulldoze here. Bulldoze, bulldoze. Bulldoze. Alright, let's pause and see if we can figure out other things. Okay, education I think was quite a bit of a problem, especially over here. I'm going to need to address that. Health. Looks like we're pretty good for the most part. Okay. And we've had more time go by. I see some traffic build up here. I've seen much worse, though, in this city. It looks like most of the rest of the intersections are pretty good, so I'll have to keep my eye on this intersection. Alright. Has housing demand gone up any? No, unfortunately not, even though we have all these worker shortages. Now, what I've done in the past is I've actually de-zoned areas to kind of deal with the worker shortages. And I may do that. I think I'll de-zone in this central area here. Well, where's traffic bad? I'll kind of base it off of that. Kind of bad here, so maybe the central area would be a good idea to de-zone. So let's go ahead. De-zone that, de-zone that, de-zone that, de-zone that. And hopefully we can address some of these shortages of labor. Might have to go heavier than that. I don't remember having this much problem with labor before. Might want to de-zone even more here. And even though it's asking for the, more industry, I have a feeling it's probably more office jobs rather than the industrial jobs. So let's do a little bit more de-zoning here. And I will de-zone That, this, that. For whatever reason, we have industrial there, which shouldn't have probably been there. Matter of fact, I'm just going to de-zone this. And we'll bulldoze the buildings. And then we'll rezone it, the thing that it should be. Okay. D-zone, D-zone. D-zone, D-zone. Alright. Still have to build those stuff. That I shouldn't have to build those because I de-zoned it. I'll bulldoze it anyway, just to get it over with, though. Bulldoze. Alright, so hopefully this will deal with the labor shortages here. Alright, I'm aware we have radio stuff. Alright. 25,000 for that. Shore radio mast does a pretty good job of covering the area. And this would cover practically the whole city, right? Now, I might build stuff in here, so I'm not going to waste that space. But here might not be a bad place to put it. It'd cover all of our city. On the other hand, I could do the short ones, and I'd probably be able to cover most of the city with a couple of these guys. We could put, like, one here. In the middle, and that shouldn't mess with any zoning. And then we'll have another one. I guess we could put it over here somewhere. I wish I had the coverage of the other one so we didn't have too much overlap. I'll put it right I'm starting to think I should have gone with the larger one. Here, we'll put it in here. That should cover most things. Alright. Let's have time go by and just kind of see the coverage here. So we do have a little bit of area that we're maybe not covering as well as we should be. Oh, we don't have power hooked up. Oh, that's a problem. Let's move it. It's gonna cost me 2,000, but I'd rather have it have power here. So we'll put it right in. Maybe even over here would be a better thing because it would catch more of my city. Right, I just feel like I'm not getting the best coverage here. Alright, we'll do it like that. Alright, that should take care of it. So that was radio coverage. Again, it's saying no power. Why is it saying no power? It's hooked up. Do we not have enough power? I'm confused. Oh, it just took a little while. Alright, that's fine. Alright, now let's see radio coverage. Oh, we got 20,000. So we now have solar power plants and we can take a third loan. Good stuff. And that should give us a little bit of cash too. So mostly we just have some area down here that I'm not really covering. So I would like to do something about that. So if I put this in right about there, it should cover most of the areas I'm not currently covering. There we go. Alright, so we got good radio coverage. Oh, okay. Weather radar is not a particularly big building, it looks like. So we could stick a lot of these guys. Oh, okay. Never mind. This guy's huge. I guess we won't know about the meteors coming. I think the weather radar is probably worth it, though. We'll
It sort of reminds me of the time I was out by the lake enjoying the sun and the trees, and I was in such a good mood that I pulled out my phone and listened to the very track we just heard. Delightful.
Oh, we can stick the earthquake sensor literally anywhere? Well, this should cover most of the city here. We'll stick that in. And it should get powered up. And then, weather station. Put it over here. I wish I could get somewhere where it, like, is a little bit not so wasteful in space. But I think we'll put it right here. And got that. See, the main thing we're missing is shelters, which I'm going to wait on, because they seem to be very expensive indeed. Okay, so how do these work? A small shelter to allow your citizens to be safe from disasters. The shelter has a limited amount of space for citizens, but you can choose which areas use which shelter by planning escape routes. After a disaster, citizens who have lost their homes can live in the shelter until they can find new housing in the city. Shelters are almost indestructible. Okay. So I'm assuming the big difference is just how many people can be in the shelter. So the basic shelter is 24,000. And it can hold 1,000 people. And considering that we have 20,000 and plus population, that's going to be a small fraction. Then the large shelter is significantly more expensive, but really only 3 times the cost, roughly, for 10 times the capacity. So it's much better off, I think, for a large city like this, or a town, or whatever we're called now. As a matter of fact, we're a grand city, and we're now working on a capital city. So for a grand city, I think a large emergency shelter is probably the best idea. But we just have to save for it. And outside of that, really all we have left is the fire helicopter depot. The fire helicopter depot houses firefighting helicopters ready to dash out when needed. Firefighting helicopters can reach fires at locations with no road access and avoid traffic jams, unlike ground vehicles. Firefighting helicopters are the only way to extinguish forest fires. Fire helicopters don't have a range, but help out the fire brigade when needed. I think that would be really worth it. It's 90,000, which is rather expensive. It said they don't have a range, and it doesn't appear that they do. So I could stick this guy in here somewhere. Or not. Oh, no, wait. I just don't have enough money, so it would fit in here. Gotta get just the right spot, though, huh? Alright, well, that's the game plan down the road.